All right, hello and welcome to the weather update. We finally, I think, figured out how to use the OBS and to get it working right again. Here you go. Here are here's what it looks like with the skies, and you can see, yeah, pretty much stuck in the clouds. And we did have the showers around overnight. We're gonna look at how much rain we got as well, but you can see plenty of clouds. And just take a sip of water. Sorry about that, but here you go, clouds. You can see this front is like crawling. It's kind of like hung up offshore now. So let's go out a little bit so we can see exactly how things track today. Let's see if we can find one for the east Atlantic coast. Yeah, this will be fine. I think we can do this. I think this will be good. Yeah, perfect. So you can see all that tropical moisture there coming up. You can see that. There it all is. And you can see some deep feeds there, thunderstorms, and probably a lot of thunderstorms there. You can see just all that warm water just setting off all that activity there. And I want to put this into a 120 frame loop so we can get an idea to show you how this all went. You can see there's that tropical feed there. It's the same system that caused all that severe weather in the south yesterday. Very tragic, and there was a lot of tornadoes too. I think we're like 96 different tornadoes or something late yesterday, which is absolutely insane for January. But you can see a lot of clouds pretty much around today. However, we did have, this is why I wanted to fix the OBS, we did have a very colorful sunset, which kind of caught me by surprise. It came out of nowhere, but when the sun set, all of a sudden the sky just turned red like that. And tonight, you can see the dark, the overcast, the altocumulus layers, altostratus layers over us tonight. So let's take a look at what we got going on outside right now as far as our temperatures go. They've dropped quite a bit. We're down around 40 degrees. Dew points dropping as well, but it was pretty humid earlier on, so we'll go ahead and look at Islip, and we'll show you what the day was like at Islip, because in the early part of the day, it was pretty mild and humid, 50s, with temperatures in the 50s. It was damp, and then we didn't really see that start dropping until like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. We started seeing that start to drop as the winds went more north. You can see right here the wind shift south-southwest, and then it went to west-northwest right around 340 at Islip, and that dropped things down quite a bit. But it was pretty warm out there earlier on today. It's pretty, it was too warm to walk around with a jacket. But now things are cooling off finally. So let's take a look at, first of all, see how much rain we got, and we will go and we'll do, I guess, a 36-hour. And you can see here roughly about a half an inch of rain in most areas. A half an inch, just about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. A little more on the east end. I see 0.7 centimeters. You go out here, oh yeah, Montauk got a lot more, 1.02, and then you go into the Cape. They really got into a lot of that moisture. Look at that, 2.31, 2.10. Yeah, so east and north, it looks like they got a little more rain. South and west, less rain. So let's go back to, we'll go to the highs next. And we'll take a look and see how warm it got. Not going to bother with the lows. So, yeah, 55. Jersey got into the low 60s, even warmer there. And then even the Cape, even this far north, I mean, this air just shot up really. Even the Cape got into the mid-50s, which is ridiculous. Again, for January, absolutely ridiculous warmth. So it's down to 40. And they still have, the front hasn't passed there yet. They're still dealing with mist. So, yeah, still hasn't passed there. But you can see, take a look and see what the day was like. You can see some of those really strong wind gusts, too, at the Cape as well. So, yeah, it's, the winds wasn't too bad. It didn't cause too much damage, but just crazy warm temperatures going on, just nuts. Absolutely nuts. We can also look at the radar, and you can see there's that stuff offshore, and a little light snow that we won't see over in the mountains areas in the Appalachians and stuff. Panning out to the west, we'll see. I think they've got another still got a few more atmospheric rivers to deal with. I don't see anything popping up on the radar right now for the west, which I find hard to believe. Oh, there we go. See, it didn't pop up yet. Yeah, we have a couple of thunderstorms around. Looks like Sacramento. Very scattered activity, but still, it's really crazy what's going on. Really crazy. So I'm going to look at a few more. And actually, we can actually change this satellite loop to show you. I can change the different type, and I could do the GLM flat. This is a new thing, which we can actually take a look at where all the lightning is. And this kind of shows all the lightning here that's going on offshore right now. It's quite a bit of it. Yeah, look at that. There you go. I wanted to show you that because that's pretty impressive, again, for January. I mean, that is significant. Look at those blow-ups. That's very significant to see for sure. And if we went to the lightning detector here, which we'll go right now, you'll see here, if we go well offshore, yeah, look at all that. Yeah, look at all that. So it's well offshore, but there is a lot of lightning going on right now. Well offshore here in this warm sector here. It's just what a front that this thing is. This thing is still putting storms together. I mean, it's crazy how many storms they've had. You know, when you look at, if we go over here to the AccuWeather, and I'll close this out, you could see here the deadly 9 unfortunately dead, and officials in Alabama and Georgia issued emergency declarations as well. States of emergency declared. So almost a historic outbreak, and they had a long duration tornado as well, 20-mile long path yesterday. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And this is some of the destruction here. This is Selma, really devastated. And yeah, you can see here, this was, so these are the preliminary, and look at all these tornadoes here and wind damage that were reported here. This is unbelievable. So it really is something to see. And again, just unbelievable amount of these tornadoes, just incredible. You know, to see this kind of outbreak in January, unbelievable. And this is what happens when you have warmer air in place. So actually, there are 35 preliminary tornado reports, 35. But I think there have been 96 tornadoes for 2023, I think. I thought I heard 96 somewhere, but that's considerable. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big tornado outbreak. It's one thing to have a few tornadoes here and there, but to just have so many tornadoes, you know, just, yeah, absolutely crazy to see, that's for sure. Looking at our radar, you can see not much going on there. I want to see if the Weather Service put together they probably did not put together a storm statement. We didn't really have, so they didn't really put that together today. But you know, nonetheless, just incredible stuff. So let's go shift over now to the west. CONUS, you know, so we'll be doing this. We'll use the same thing here, and again show you there's another atmospheric river that is coming. You could see the little one here, and then there's a bigger one over here that we'll have to watch out for on the weekend. Probably, actually, yeah, as we get toward the weekend, we're going to have to deal with that as well. So let's go to the models next, I guess, and take a look at our weekend here. So you can see there's a low offshore. This front is going to get kind of hung up offshore, and that's going to probably keep clouds around it. The satellite doesn't really show all that much clear air in general. So expect, I think, a good deal of clouds tomorrow, and maybe it's even showing a little light rain going over the east end perhaps. And then you can see this storm just gets wound. This looks like a tropical system that we're going to see develop offshore early, sometime Sunday. Some kind of hybrid storm. Given the water temperatures, it wouldn't be that unusual, because let's go to the water temperatures here. Hurricane Center ain't showing anything, but I want to again show you and point out how above normal the water temperatures are offshore, because it's really something, and it's quite scary. So sea surface temperature anomalies, look at that bright yellow. I mean, that is 15.2 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. That is 15.2. You can see that there, 15.2 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. You know, it's unbelievable. Look at all this. This is like 5 to 7 degrees above normal. All these bright yellow areas. So if you look at the actual sea surface temperature, right here. I mean, we're got 60-degree water temperatures, not that far away from Long Island. Look at it, 65. This is like, what, 100 miles southeast of Montauk Point? So, yeah, very warm water temperatures, unusually warm water temperatures. A big concern as well. And if you go into the Pacific, actually, we have some sea surface temperature anomalies, too, I want to point out. Look at all these big sea surface temperature anomalies here. So, again, that's all fueling these storms that are crashing into the West Coast. It's all fueling this pattern we have, all this warm water. That's a big thing with the climate going on, right? So, as far as our weather goes, hopefully we'll get more sun on Sunday. And then I'm not really going to go into too much next week in this because still have to watch the west. You can see if you're looking at the west there is another storm there crashing in tomorrow into the west, another atmospheric river. And then after that, yep, there'll be another one, probably a little weaker on Monday. And then after that, it sort of kind of moves northward, as you see there. All right. So we'll first start in the, I just want to show you the west here for a minute here. And we'll just take a look and see how much rain is being predicted again, because these atmospheric rivers are just nuts. So, yeah, going through Monday, we're still going to see another 2 to possibly 4 inches of rain, especially in the mountains. And there could be some snow mixed in too as well. Snowfall, yeah, you got a lot of snowfall there. It's off the charts pretty much in the mountains. They're just getting unbelievably amount of snow. The good thing about it is that all the snow there is helping the drought situation. As far as, they had to worry about water. Now, all that ice up there is like a reservoir for water for California. So that's the good news about that. Looking at the snowfall now, in the Northeast, you'll see, again, not much going on, but you'll see look at this up here, big storm possible in Nova Scotia as we get toward next week, perhaps, from that storm that's forming offshore. So let's go, and we will start with the HRRR 0Z run, and we'll just look at our precipitation map here, and you will see. So you get a chance to look at this stall front offshore here. You can see, might even try to bring a little light. Look at this. The HRRR is trying to bring in a little light snow. Probably wouldn't amount to much, but sometime in the midday tomorrow from that low. And then here comes the next low that's forming along. This is the one that's going to get wrapped up, but we're not going to see any precipitation from that. But if you're on the Cape, you might get to see a little snow. So let's see. Total snowfall, probably, yeah, it's going to barely dust the ground, but we'll get. If you're on the Cape, maybe an inch, but other than that, probably not much. So let's go to the dew points next and wind flow here on the HRRR. And the models don't agree, so kind of have to go all over the place here. But you see that north wind. The drier air is here. We won't have to deal with any of that muggy, humid air. But you can see pretty, gusty, breezy north winds throughout the weekend with the gradient between this high to the west and these low. And again, you got this wrapped up low offshore here. And there can see some pretty strong winds with that wrapped up low as well. If we go here and look at some of these winds, you'll see offshore. This might kick up the surf a little bit. But there you go. There's this wrapped up low again. And again, the GFS is even tighter with this thing. So let's go to the temperatures next. And you'll see here tomorrow with the clouds and the north winds. I don't think we're making it out of the 30s tomorrow. So it'll be near normal. I will average near normal. And then not dropping that much Saturday night because, again, the cloud cover. So probably maybe upper 20s, low 30s. And then for Sunday, we see a little more sun, particularly New Jersey. So you'll probably get above 40. Long Island, maybe a little struggling there to get above 40 because there may be more clouds over at Long Island. But, of course, the models don't agree on all of this. So I'm going to go to the GFS next. And you can see the GFS, you can clearly see the signature on that storm. So here's the GFS temperature agreement. And then as we get into Monday, you'll still see temperatures around average, all right? But you can see the reflection of that storm. So let's go look at the precipitation here. And you see this thing gets pretty wrapped up here. So this is the GFS. It really just wraps it up pretty tight here. And that could be, again, a possible tropical system Well, let's see what it's doing with the wind. I'm curious here. So, again, this has got a GFS is giving it a real tropical look to it, too. You can see around the eye, not a whole lot going on, but around the edges of it, this is going to be some kind of hybrid system or something. It's really weird. And when we take a look at the actual cloud reflection, which is where I'm going next, we'll take a look at this. So here we are for tomorrow. You can see GFS has us in the clouds. Pretty much Sunday, we start moving them offshore. However, I think that a good part of Long Island is still going to deal with them. Maybe Nassau won't. New Jersey won't, north and west. But take a look and see what it does here. It almost looks like it forms an eye. And then it finally moves it out Monday a little bit, but still hangs it up. There's a narrow band of clear sky wherever that lands up. Probably not eastern Long Island, probably New Jersey, western Long Island, probably. All right. Now, again, the models don't agree on the cloud cover, and this is where we're going to see big differences. All right. So RGEM, here's the RGEM. RGEM thins the clouds out a little bit tomorrow. You can take a look at what the RGEM does. That's an eye right there. The RGEM also throws more clouds our way for Sunday. And that's an eye. That looks like a tropical system right there. Look at that. This is going to be interesting to see what this thing looks like on satellite, I'll tell you. But here we are. And then Monday, it finally clears us out and gives us the clear day. RGEM is basically saying Monday, but even still throwing some clouds over Long Island. Has New Jersey in the clear. That's the RGEM. So the models don't agree on the clouds. Now we go to the NAM. You'll see they're all over the place. So here's the NAM. NAM. I mean, the agreement is we'll have more clouds tomorrow. But Sunday, that's where we see the disagreement. NAM moves this offshore, gives New Jersey mostly sunny, probably most of the day, and Long Island mostly sunny in the afternoon. So you can see there's kind of a disagreement on how far this thing gets. But look at the NAM. There it is again. There it is. So this is going to be some kind of interesting tropical hybrid that's going to form offshore. Very unusual to see. I guess I could do the FV3. We have some of the zeros, the FV3, but look, a whole lot of it's missing. So you could see, yeah, we got a whole lot of it missing. I can't even use that. So it's going to be really hard to say what's going to happen with the clouds. There's going to be a tight gradient, particularly on Sunday. Tomorrow, I think we'll probably have mostly cloudy skies. Sunday, I think more west you are, maybe the more likelihood you'll see some sunshine. But before I finish off over here, let's go to the Ventus sky here, and we'll do this Ventus sky here, and we'll look at this here. So we'll go to Saturday. And again, you're going to still be in that north flow there, all right? Clouds, keeps us in the clouds here pretty much. Kind of like, I want to see what's going on with the winds offshore. So that's why I want to use over the wind gusts here. So we'll see what's going to happen with this storm offshore here. I got to pull this out a little bit. Let's go to 10 o'clock here. You can see some 77-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Look at this. Wow, that's incredible right there. That's incredible. That is incredible. For us, we won't be dealing with too much, damaging wind. But again, these winds over here are pretty substantial. All right, this is already into the icon model already, going this far out. You know what? We got one more model to look at. I almost forgot. So let's go back to tidbits and Let's go to the European model, and we'll see what the European model does with this. All right, so here's the European model. Yeah, that really wraps it up. Nice. So this is, again, Sunday. This is the European model here. 987 millibars. Let's look at the winds here. Oh, yeah. That's pretty substantial. Look at the waves. Do a wave height here. Yeah, it's kicking up the waves. I mean, the worst of the waves should stay offshore, but, I mean, right around the storm. It's pretty high. So last thing, we'll go to windy.com. This gives us another look at the European here. This coastal storm is fascinating. That's all I got to say. So we are Sunday. Let's go over to Sunday. Look at this. So this is the European. All right, we're looking at wind gusts here. Over hurricane force. The Hurricane Center is like, no, we're not getting anything. They don't want to admit that this is going to have some tropical characteristics because of all the warm water. But this definitely looks like it has some tropical characteristics. And one sure way to tell is temperatures. If the temperatures in the center of it are warm, which they are, that's a warm core system. All right, so look at the Europeans on the clouds here. This kind of shows it kind of nicely, too. This kind of shows what's going on again. So you can see tomorrow, Europe, it seems like it wants to have the clouds away from western parts of Jersey. Maybe it'll be mostly sunny if you're like toward Philadelphia. I'm not buying that. I think it's more towards Sunday. Actually, no, the European wants to have the clouds linger a little on Sunday, a little bit. And then it finally moves it offshore. But what a storm. This thing's going to be a powerhouse, I'm telling you. This thing is it's just unbelievable. Here you go again. Wind gusts for Sunday. Again, just, I mean, this thing is going to be something else to deal with. It's more of an issue if you're out in the middle of the ocean, but it's quite a storm right there. And let's go to the west coast and look at these atmospheric rivers coming in, too. Look at Saturday's atmospheric river as well. So this is Saturday's atmospheric river. You can see right here. Look at that. That's just incredible there. You know, that's incredible to see. And there's going to be a good amount of wind with that, too, as well, as this storm crashes into the west coast here. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts what's going on. So, actually, we're going to go. Let's just do a few more tidbits to parameters here. Looking at that west coast here for a minute. So I can show you that atmospheric river once more before I wrap up this weather update. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to do one tomorrow, but unfortunately, we probably will because of all the things going on here in the air. You know, all these atmospheric chaos going on here. So I want to look at more parameter in here. Let's see. Find parameter here. Is it this? Yeah, it's this. Okay, so this kind of shows you the atmospheric river. That's what I want to show you. So again, there it is coming in. There it is right there coming into the west coast right there for your Saturday. So and then after that, there's another one Sunday. And then after that, you see it starts to change a little bit. But I want to kind of, can I get a view of the Pacific here? It's the whole Pacific Ocean here. Got Eastern Pacific, but that's the tropical. I don't want the tropical. I want the, yeah, we could do this. That's fine. It doesn't give us that. Darn it. All right, well. Doesn't give us that feature. But anyway, the atmospheric rivers should be calming down after this weekend. That'll hopefully maybe mean some more changes for us. But right now, again, we're going to have to watch how close this storm gets again. I think we're just going to deal with clouds. But hopefully Sunday will clear it out. Hopefully at least to the west. But the storm, you can see, kind of gets stuck. It's going to be hard to predict what's going to happen with this thing until tomorrow. You know, this is going to be a tricky situation. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.